Hello again, this is Mr. Petrie, and today we are going to talk about adding fractions that have unlike denominators. So I've got the example here, 3/4 plus 1/6, and we're going to look at a couple of different ways that we can find a common denominator, and that way we can add. Okay, so step one, we have to find a common denominator. So there are a few different ways we can do that. I can look at my numbers, 4 and 6, and I can take out any common factors that they have. So I know that a 2 can divide into both 4 and 6. And when I do that, what I have left is 2 and 3. And you'll see, once I've got down to my prime factors out here, it makes a little L, and that helps me find what we call the lowest common multiple. So if I actually multiply these three factors together, 2 times 2 times 3, I'm going to get 12. And 12 is actually the lowest common multiple that I can use between 4 and 6. And I can find 12 another way as well. If I think about 4s and I say 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4, 16, and 20. I'll just stop there. And with 6, my first multiples are 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. And I can see that these are both multiples of 4 and 6. They come from these lowest common factors. And from there, I can use 12 as a denominator. So once I have that, I can set up my denominator, and I can use my understanding of equivalent fractions to find out what that would look like with the denominator 12. Okay, so I know to go from here to here, I multiplied by 3. So that means I have to do the same thing to the top, because if I multiply by 3 over 3, it's the same as multiplying by 1. And this gives me 9/12 plus, in this case, this was multiplied by 2, which means I have to do the same thing to the 1, gives me 2/12. And when I add those two together, now that I have a like or common denominator, I can add the numerators together, and I get 11/12. And I can't reduce or do anything with that. So that would be my answer. Now, there is one other way you can do it if you don't want to find the lowest common multiples, if you don't want to, if you don't know right off the bat using your multiplication facts. One thing you can do always, so we have the same question, you can always just multiply these two denominators together, and that will give you at least a common denominator. So if I multiply 4 and 6, I know that that's 24. And same thing, this is times 4, so I have to do the same thing to the top. And this is times 6. Times 6 as well. And that gives me 22 over 24 when I add those two together. And then the only issue when you do multiply is now you have to reduce. And I can see that 2 goes into both 22 and 24. When I divide that by 2, I get the equivalent fraction 11/12. So in both cases, you're going to end up with the same answer, but just some different ways to do it.